Welcome back from the break. Now let's talk education, because the Ministry of Education has asked the Ghana Tertiary Education Council to order the accountant and the accountant general not to effect payment of teachers in training colleges for the month of August. Now let's take you through the statement that came up this morning. Now it says, we write the instance of the Honorable Minister of Education requesting you not to pay monthly salary and allowances for the month of August 2023 to the teaching staff of all 46 colleges of education in CETAG. However, any arrears before August 2023 should be validated and paid. We count very much on your cooperation and urgent action, please. Sincerely, Saka Sayuti, Director, Administration for Director General of CETAG. Well, this morning, the PRO of the Education Ministry confirmed this letter and explained that since they did not work for the month of August, they cannot be paid for that. But how is the CETAG reacting to the story? We have Prince Obeyinhima, who is president of CETAG, on the line with us. Grateful to you for joining us, sir. What are your reactions to this directive from the ministry?
Good afternoon to you, and thanks for the opportunity. I think that as employees, we take directives from the ministry, and we cannot compel the ministry to act. So we are taking it as you are also reading it. But we have some concerns. There have been a lot of misinformation out there today, and we wish to use this golden opportunity to, as it were, set a record straight. One, the impression being created out there that today we were invited to a meeting at the instance of the National Labour Commission, and we refused to attend. I think I want to respectfully put it out there that nothing of the sort happened. We have not had any invitation to any meeting anywhere today. As far as the National Labour Commission is concerned, we appeared before them on Wednesday last week, and we are expecting next to appear before them, that is on the 30th of this month. And then two, the information out there that we have misrespected the Honorable Minister of Education. He invited us to a meeting, that is yesterday. The invitation came on Friday, and we failed to attend. We also want to set the record straight. We have taken steps to even write to the minister today. I think going through all of these things, we believe in the fact that a strike will be over. The ministry would need the tutors. The tutors would also need the ministry. There is a need for us to work to maintain a perfect relationship, working relationship at that, so that there will be that congenial, environment. We were invited on Friday by the Honorable Minister through a letter, and we were asked to come for the meeting yesterday at 8 a.m. The invitation came at a time that we had closed our meeting in Kumasi, national offices. People had taken off, somebody going to Bewa, Hohoi, Atebubu, and all of that. So the best we could have done under the circumstance was to have politely written to the minister without any malice, asking that we be given the chance to have the meeting online. We've done that with the minister before because of the circumstance. But the possibility of having to hit Bewa and then to return on Monday 8 a.m. wasn't just there practically. So we appealed to the minister. We didn't get any response till yesterday when news started going round on platforms that we have disrespected the minister. We want to say that we appreciate him. We really know how he's been there for us in difficult times, spoken for us, he's advocated for us, and we wouldn't do anything to run down his office or to disrespect his office. So that is, for that. Thank you for that opportunity, sir.
Well, we understand that the National Labour Commission asked you to return to the classroom once all your grievances had been acted upon by the ministry, but you refused to. Why did you do that?
It's important to mention that the National Labour Commission on Wednesday appealed to CETAG. And it wasn't only the National Labour Commission that had appealed to us. Other well-meaning Ghanaians and even the minister himself had appealed to us. Other people on the other political divide. I remember Clementa Park, Honorable, and all the other people had even appealed to us to call off the action. And we had been consistent. If there is anything that CETA could be credited for in this whole struggle, it's consistency in our line of delivery, and the fact that we have always adopted a bottom-up approach. That's why we've always been able to whip our people in line up to this point. So in all of these things, we told them that we needed to touch base with our people, consult with them, so that we'll send the appeal to them. And we've been in the process from Wednesday up to date. And rather, we haven't slept. We've been touching base with the structures, 46 colleges, the local level, the zonal level, the National Council level, the what have you. And we were almost at the point of finishing this whole consultations when this thing came up. And that has been the practice. All our people we've been engaging with the Employment and Labor Relations Ministry, the Ministry of Education, the National Labor, they know how our system works, and we always explain to them. So we're in the process of doing that when this thing suddenly came.
The explanation we had this morning was to the effect that, I mean, you told the employer that you weren't going to call off your strike. And that's why the employer had to also mandate the accountant general to say that do not pay them for the month of August.
We do not want to sound like, because there is an issue of validation, we are revising our notes and we are saying something different. I think you people out there who have been referees of the conversation will credit us once again for consistency. We had said that the issue was before the National Labour Commission. The National Labour Commission had indeed asked the government to do A, B, C, D, and not until those things had been done, we weren't going to budge. That was where the minister appealed to us, the National Labour Commission appealed to us, that on the strength of what they were doing, we had to, and we said that we needed to touch base with our people, which is natural with every union. Talk of NAT, NAGRAT, UTAG, TUTAG. We go for discussions, even directives, not appeals are given, orders are given. We are given time, space to be able to, as it were, consult with our people. We need to give the people on whose path we ride as leaders that respect by consulting with them and then taking their views. So at the end of the day, if we have to comply, collectively, we can all comply and then go ahead. And that was exactly what we had been doing, sir.
Stay with me. Let me bring in Bismarck Tay. He is Deputy Managing Editor for Teacher Educational Journal. Tay, I'm grateful that you could join us here. How do you respond to this now that government says, I won't pay the teachers for the month of August because they did not work? All right. This morning on the AM show, we're speaking to the PRO for the Education Ministry, Kwesi Kwati, and we asked him, why this? Listen to him.
Talking about the same thing. What essentially means that is a way of boosting or increasing access. At the same time, ensuring that you are maintaining the quality component of education.
Okay.
So most of the practical lessons, in order to also augment the practical lessons, you also introduce a virtual one. I mean, all over the world, even in universities, we use simulations and other things. So it's just a way of augmenting it, not necessarily the lack of availability.
Thank
you are aware we've introduced them.
But before you go, there's a letter from the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC. It says, we write at the instance of the Honorable Minister of Education, requesting you not to pay monthly salary and allowances for the month of August 2023 to the teaching staff of all 46 colleges of education, CETAG. However, any arrears before August 2023 should be validated and paid. We count very much on your cooperation and urgent action. And this is addressed to the Controller Accountant General. Why this?
Well, there is a history to that, very briefly. So, CETAG had their conditions of service expired. And so, I mean, the requirement was that they negotiate or engage their employers and agree on the new conditions of service. That was done and approved by even the Ministry of Finance for onward payment. But right after the approval, CETAG raised a concern. And their major concern was that 4 of the items, according to them, they flagged it because according to them, their point is that has been unilaterally changed by Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. So what we, the Ministry of Education, even did was that, well, indicate those 4 items, let's look at it again, and then prompt the Ministry of Finance for them to take into account. That was done. Approval was given for payment, but that was around 21st of July because we were just entering into August, and the Ministry of Education informed CETAG that this is where we are. Everything has been approved. In any event, we are going to, even in terms of your payment, we are all outstanding arrears are going to be backdated, and so you can then go to work because all the concerns that you were looking for has finally been resolved. Because what controller told Ministry of Education is that if indeed they want to effect the payment as at just last July, it was not going to be possible. What essentially means is that they will have to sacrifice the entire payment structure for all civil servants in Ghana, maybe at the altar of the 2,000 CETAG student, CETAG employees that we may want to factor. So it was resolved that I guess they make the payment. And of course, the payment was going to take into account all outstanding arrears or our outstanding negotiations. CETAG said no. So what Ministry of Education is saying is that, well, in the month of August, you did not go to work. You did not work. Even against the National Labour Commission telling you that since all you are looking for has been agreed upon and has actually been approved and payment is scheduled for next month, you have to go to work. CETAG said no. But I mean, you know that CETAG, just like most of these colleges of education, is just like an industrial hub. You work to produce output and then we use that money to pay you. If you do not go to work, the fundamental question that we have to ask ourselves is that, where do we get monies to pay you?
So that is Kwesi Kwarteng there. Now, Mr. Hima, you listened to him. He stated that, they agreed to your demand and said, go back to the classroom, but you did not go. Was he wrong or was he not factual there?
Inaccurate. Factually inaccurate.
Oh, it's factually inaccurate?
Sure.
Okay.
One, the fact that we are not paid at the end of the month by the students we turn out and the product we also bring out, as we sought to create that impression. We produce service, and our teachers, long-term effect. For the students we are producing today, it will take them a number of years before they finish, go out there. But we are not even looking at that. And then to say that we have said we are not going to work since, even though the Ministry of Finance had indicated the difficulty they had in paying us and that it was going to through the entire pay arrangement for the public sector overboard. I'm hearing this for the first time, and I should be glad if we can ask him to produce one single documentation to that effect. Certainly, if the ministry has communicated with us on that to that effect, there should be evidence. We communicate through letters. Let him show one letter to that effect. Mr. Kwarteng is my brother and friend. I know that there are issues, and I appreciate that it's working as PRO of the ministry. But let us, at this critical time, put things out there to reflect the reality of the ground. We are all not happy about where we are at the moment. But some of these things do not help. Some of these statements do not help matters.
All right, okay.
Thank you.
But stay with me. We've been joined on the line by Larry Agbado, Managing Editor, Teacher Education Journal. Larry, grateful for you to join us here. Is this a point where you were expecting that this matter will get to?
All right, thank you very much, and good afternoon to your good self and then your viewers across the world. It's quite unfortunate that this particular issue had to get to this level. Looking at the processes we had to go through. Before CETAG declared its strike on the 1st of August, weeks before that, they had given some kind of warning that they intended to go on strike by 1st August. So all their actions were made clear and known to everyone that this is what CETAG intends to do. The worry, however, is how the relevant stakeholders, especially governments, did not take these actions of CETAG or these warnings of CETAG serious to plan or work towards it. And to the level that we are in the 4th week of the strike. And if you know the colleges of education system, you know that every single week counts a lot in the colleges now, because government is feeding the students. So it means for the past 4 weeks, government has been feeding the students, but virtually nothing is taking place. So where do we go with this? Now, the critical thing that I feel we should also be looking at this point is that the steps government through the Ministry of Education is taking. Is it the case that there was no better way we could have resolved this issue? Because yesterday when I was speaking to some CETAG members, you could see that the actions by the ministry, it's something that is rather going to anger them. And most of them were even calling that if that's the case, they wanted to extend the strike beyond even the 4 weeks that we are in now. But I appreciate the fact that
they are willing to extend.
Yes, so if you interact with their members on the ground, and let's be guided by history. This is not the first time government has actually taken a step like this. Somewhere in 2018, the then Minister for Education, Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh, also did a similar thing where even, I think it was November 2018, their salaries were not paid at all. But I think later, CETA took the matter up and they were paid later.
Okay.
So we've seen this before, but at this level, I think we should all get to the table and find the best solution that can help that our tutors can return back to the classrooms. For the trainee teachers who are on campus right now, we have just 2 levels on campus. See how best they can make use of the time. 4 weeks on campus doing nothing and government is feeding them is complete waste of time.
Okay. All right. So government says I won't pay you for the month of August. From your knowledge of the educational sector, how do you think both parties can resolve this matter amicably? What should happen now?
I think from my observation, government through the Ministry of Education, that is the Minister of Education, has in the past few weeks made attempts to meet the leadership of CETAG. I think on 2 different attempts or so. But on all these attempts, I think CETAG also had a case that the timings for the meetings were not favorable for them. I think this is the time the 2 parties actually have to put whatever differences that exist between them aside and then meet to see how best this situation can be resolved as soon as. The earlier we resolve this issue, the better for our colleges of education.
Well, government says I have already accepted your request and asked CETAG to go back to the classroom. They did not go. So, I mean, what else do you want government to do?
I think the necessary thing here for government to do is to also show some level of commitment that what we intend to do or what we promise to do for you relating to your conditions of service and the compensation for the all year round working. I think if you interact with most of the CETAG members, they just want to see some level of commitment that yes, government has put on paper that yes, by this time we are going to receive this. Because they also feel that all these years it's just been lip service. So they really want to see actions. And I'm sure when they see any commitment, and that commitment can also happen when the 2 parties agree to meet on the same table.
Okay.
So
all right.
It's time they lose their entrenched position then meet halfway to see how best they can resolve these issues.
Very interesting. Let me return to Prince Obenhima. Prince, so what is your next line of action? What do you intend to do?
Yeah, we will appear before the National Labour Commission, and the Commission has the right to make decisions. Remember, the last time we appeared before the Commission made a passionate appeal to us, appeal to our members to call off the action because they have started a process of resolving the matters. And this is something we've been doing. Larry is just talking about, we've kept him informed of every step on the way where we have been doing the things. So the structures, local levels, the zonal levels, and what have you, we have almost gone through with the discussions and consultations. So let's think about it. But we are not perturbed. We'll continue to engage with our members. The directive notwithstand them. If at the end of the day our people feel like we have to go back to work, if they decide that we have to go to work and the government say the way in PS, why not? We'll go with the decision of the directive. Okay. And we are also looking forward to the National Labour Commission coming clear on this matter so that we'll know what the rule of law says. But as I said initially, we are using this opportunity to reach out to the Honourable Minister that we wouldn't in any way do anything to disrespect him or his office. We revere him as the direct rep of our employer, and we'll give him the recognition that it is. What we have just said is that as for in-person meetings, just like all other stakeholders, they know the scattered nature of our situation. They give us prior notification, maybe 48 hours, 72 hours, so that our people can converge. We'll think through and then we'll proceed to attend an Accra meeting. Thank you very much for the
opportunity. So is this something that you're expecting the government to withdraw the decision not to pay you for the month of August?
Like Larry rightly said, I believe that there is some kind of misinformation and some disconnect. So the minister isn't getting our intentions very clear. And naturally, if I were the minister and you were on strike and I invited you, somebody that I preside over, or your group that I preside over, and I get information that you said you won't come, certainly you will feel upset. Okay. And that would embolden you into taking such a decision. Yeah. That is why we reached out to him by writing to him to give him the background behind all of this. So I believe that there is a time for us to have an interface directly, not a showdown, so that we'll be able to, as it were, have a conversation around the table, understand one another. Remember, at the end of the day, whatever it is that happens, it's teacher education that suffers. If we are able to resolve the matter, it is teacher education that ultimately will be the beneficiary. And posterity will judge all of us where we are. We are teachers, the minister, and wherever anybody is. Posterity will judge us one day. So we need
to right, Prince, I believe. I mean, if I understand you, you feel that this directive can be withdrawn and your salary is paid to you.
It can be withdrawn because we think that the National Labour Commission and all the other people that are refereeing the issue haven't declared our action illegal. We are not even looking at it from that legal perspective, but showing the goodwill that we are talking to our people. Our people are almost at a point where they will listen to the appeal. I believe this thing was needless, and the minister can take a second look at it.
Prince Obenhima, grateful to you for joining us. He is president of CETAG there.